Welcome back, Transportation. This is your 2024-2025 recap of Day 1 in-service. Keep in mind, all transportation staff is required to complete both the online and in-person in-services. Online payroll will be processed based on the completion report from Safe Schools. There is no need to print any completion certificates. The deadline to complete online in-service is Sunday, August 11th. All South ESC drivers will need to remain on the trip channel for the first 2 days of school, Monday, August 12th and Tuesday, August 13th. All South ESC drivers must remain on the trip channel for the first 2 days of school. Transportation Policies, presented by Jimmy Hardison.
Each employee within the department has an assigned direct manager. It is common business practice to follow the proper chain of command. You should always respect your direct manager by allowing them the opportunity to address your concerns. Bypassing your manager and going to a higher manager administrator shows a lack of respect and violates business practices. Your direct manager should always be your first point of contact. Lock-in time continues to be a hot topic and often raises several questions. Here is some important information pertaining to lock-in times. Your lock-in time remains the same until October 31st, 2024. What does it mean when the route time has changed? When your paper route time changes, your lock-in remains the same. What happens if my route time increases? Your manager will change the time in Skyward to reflect the change. What happens if my route time decreases? Your lock-in remains the same. There will be multiple changes to route, but that will not affect the lock-in time until October 31st. Payroll process. You're required to sign in with your ID badge at the beginning of your AM and PM shifts. There is no grace period for arriving late. You are expected to clock in at or before the beginning of your assigned work shifts. Scan in from only your assigned compound. Submit your time at the end of the week or pay period. Complete and submit your daily extra worksheets. Be sure you are completing the form in full to avoid any delay in pay. Entering Skyward time. You are required to enter all sick leave time in Skyward within 5 days after returning from a sick day. Payroll may be affected. Request any personal time at least 24 hours in advance. There are 6 personal days available each year to be used out of sick time. Keep up with your license. CDL, keep your address current. Physical, a list of expiring physicals is posted monthly at each compound. Medical card, any change or update in your medical card must be reported to the DMV. Reflex test, everyone is tested in the spring. Self-report, any violations or accidents are to be reported within 48 hours. Headphones. Headphones of any type are not permitted while working on a bus. This applies to drivers and aides. Personal wireless devices. No cell phones, iPads, laptops, etc. are to be used while operating a St. Lucie Public Schools bus or while students are on board. 5 rules of the radio. Keep your radio volume up. Keep it professional. Keep it on your channel. Keep it short and sweet. Keep it loud and clear. MDT daily requirements. Daily MDT task. Log on to the tablet. Complete pre-trip inspection. Select route or subroute. Start run with navigation. Switch runs as needed. Log out of the tablet once back in the yard. Repeat above steps in the PM. Pre-trips are to be completed on the MDT tablet only. We are no longer using the paper forms. Pre-trips are needed at the start of each run. Communicating spare buses. Every driver is required to radio max and dispatch anytime you are on a bus other than your own. We have to track the correct bus for the Here Comes the Bus app. Parents and students rely on this app. Communicating late buses. Every driver is required to radio max and dispatch anytime you are running 15 minutes or more late on your run. We will send a Skylar late call out to your parents. Parents and students rely on these calls. Follow your route, unless there is a marked detour or from direction of law enforcement. Otherwise, not without approval of an area manager. Get with your area manager if you have concerns. Unrouted students. Only students who have been assigned to your bus and are listed on your detail are permitted to ride. If you have a student show up that is not on your detail, you will need to radio into routing immediately, transport the student, notify the school upon arrival. Any employee requesting to have a relative who is a student ride their bus or a bus other than their regular assigned bus must get written approval by the director. Undelivered students. Students in pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade cannot be released unless a known parent, guardian, or escort is at the stop to receive them. If you are unable to deliver a student due to the parent, guardian, or escort not at the bus stop, you have 2 options. If you want to circle back around, you can radio dispatch to attempt to contact the parent or guardian via phone. If you have to bring the student back to the assigned compound, the driver or aide from the assigned route must remain with the student until he or she is picked up. No personal stops. Absolutely no personal use of buses or district vehicles. Absolutely no breaks between the compound and the first school in the AM or the PM. Absolutely no breaks between the last school in the AM or the last stop in the PM and the compound. Stops may be made at appropriate public places between runs if there is sufficient time and the bus does not run late as determined by a manager. You must sign out with dispatch and spend no more than 5 minutes off air regardless of the length of the break. Transportation dress code. Examples of what is okay to wear. SOPS dress code policy. Section 6, Human Resources, Title, Staff Dress. Code 6.307. Personnel are required to wear appropriate clothing. Staff members should be aware that they serve as a role model for students. Examples of what is not okay to wear. List of not approved. Any open-toed shoes, Crocs, flip-flops, high heels, shower caps, short shorts or skirts, spaghetti straps, belly shirts, tank tops, offensive writing. Evacuation drills. Complete and return the evacuation form to the school. Must be completed and documented in the first 6 weeks of each semester. Drivers need to be actively involved to prevent injuries. Important tips. Every driver needs to check students by their roster until they know their students by name. Have a name and address for each student before leaving the school. Check for sleeping, undelivered students after each tier. Keep them on the bus. It is acceptable for an administrator to okay a student with a note to go with another student on an occasional basis as long as space is available. Incident and security reports. Be sure to turn in your reports directly to a manager, not just placed in a bin. What is a signal for? If your bus touches anything, you have been in a Signal 4, with or without students on board. Minimum work requirements. All subs, drivers, and aides, there is a 3-day work requirement. All substitutes shall work a minimum of 3 days per week to remain an active substitute for St. Lucie Public Schools transportation. Layover expectations. You are on the clock. If your time allows, you're to help cover a route or if directed by dispatch. Prepare your reports, seating charts, referrals, FTFP, etc. Sweep and clean your bus. Bathroom breaks.
Back to School, presented by Crystal Cruz. All South ESC drivers will need to remain on the trip channel for the first 2 days of school, Monday, August 12th and Tuesday, August 13th. Bus cards should be given out immediately and collected by Monday, August 19th. Every rider is required to have a completed bus card on file. If you have any unused bus cards, please return them to the office. Seating charts and evacuation plans for the 2024-2025 school year are due to your area manager no later than Friday, August 30th. The first few days of school, we will use the compounds for holding undelivered students. Please don't call us, we'll call you. Keep the student on board until you hear from us. We will call you once we hear from the parent or guardian. Please be sure to check your mailbox upon your arrival in the AM and PM. Important information is communicated via letter and placed in mailboxes. Your district email should also be checked regularly. If you are locked out or you need help accessing it, you can contact the help desk at 772-429-HELP. Remember, attendance matters. Every driver, every aide, every day. Please come to work. If you are going to be out or you're running late, you can contact any manager by any of the following forms below. If you are unable to get through to a manager, anyone from the contact center can relay the message over. It is imperative you contact us as soon as possible to give as much notice as possible so we have plenty of time to cover your route. Drivers should not be stopping at the front to pick up or drop off their aides. Aides are required to pre-trip and post-trip as described in your job responsibilities. Please do not block traffic at the front of the compounds. Do not enter, park, or block any areas in front of the garage bays. You are only permitted to enter these areas if you've been instructed to do so and you are bringing your bus up to a garage bay. Double parking has been a large concern over the past school year. We are already limited on parking spaces. Be considerate of others and only use one parking spot. Do not block others in. If you get out of your car and you notice that you are parked over the line, please correct your vehicle. Again, we are already limited on parking spaces. Bus keys need to be turned in after your AM and your PM runs. There's no exception to this. Drivers, turn those bus keys in. Routing, presented by Jennifer Sears. All South ESC drivers will need to remain on the trip channel for the first 2 days of school, Monday, August 12th and Tuesday, August 13th.
Making proper bus stops. Do not make unauthorized bus stops. Doing a favor by making a stop closer to their home creates problems when we add new students to an existing stop, or if you are absent and a sub driver is on your route. Only make the bus stops on your route. Should you want to make a change to a bus stop, you'll need to fill out and submit a route edit request form. Route edit request forms. If you'd like to make a change to your route, please complete the form detailing your request. Submit the form to your area manager. Managers will review and sign off that they are aware of your request and submit it to routing. Only routing will approve or deny the request. Routing will review the request and only approve if the changes meet SLPS transportation and state guidelines. If approved, a new route will be placed in the key room and routing will radio you to advise. If denied, you will receive a request back with an explanation as to why. Also, please report any stops that you have no students riding. No refusing students. Never refuse a student's ride, even if they are not listed on the route. They may need to be added to the route. They have been recently added, or they had a change in information at the school and they fell off the route. If you have a student attempting to board the bus, but they are not on your route, what should you do? Radio into routing for an immediate answer.
Middays and tutorials presented by Jennifer Sears.
Middays and tutorials. If you've been on an after-school tutorial, you must fill out an activity or tutorial mileage log. You'll get paid for your actual times only. The forms need to be turned in weekly. If you're in the North Compound, please turn them into Celeste, and in the South Compound, please turn them into Heidi. Please do not wait until the end of the month.
Field trips presented by Heidi Pinder.
If you have not yet turned in your field trip sign-up sheets, please do so immediately. Field trips are already being booked for the new year. You can turn in your completed forms into Heidi Pinder or Jennifer Sears. Let's review some field trip guidelines. Make your pickups on time. Take only the assigned bus. Clean and fuel the bus, no exceptions. Turn in the key after each trip. Turn in completed field trip ticket same day, place in the drop box after hours, weekends, etc. Do not take the trip if you cannot make the pickup time. DEF must be filled completely before departing. Never take a field trip bus unless you have been given permission by Heidi Pinder or Jennifer Sears.
Medicaid sheets presented by Heidi Pinder.
Medicaid bubble sheets is a mandatory process and is to be completed for each bus that transports ESE students that qualify for the Medicaid reimbursement program. Bubble sheets are to be completed daily by the bus driver and/or aide and are due to Heidi Pinder in the South Compound on the 1st of the following month. New monthly bubble sheets will be placed in the driver's mailbox each month. Drivers, please give these to your aides. Here are some important reminders when filling out your bubble sheets. Use black ink only, no markers, gel pens, or pencils. Fill in the bubble for each day when the student rides your bus. If the student rode in the AM and PM, both AM and PM bubbles must be filled in. Initials are needed each day by the person filling in the form. Print your name and sign. If you write in any student's names or mark any other markings on the form, it will be rejected and a new form will be needed. If you have any questions as to how to fill out the form, please see Jennifer Sears or Heidi Pinder.
Transporting special needs students presented by Nicole Habby. All South ESC drivers will need to remain on the trip channel for the first 2 days of school, Monday, August 12th and Tuesday, August 13th.
ESC students must be met at the bus every afternoon by someone 18 years of age or older. If the student can be released without supervision, it will be stated on your route. Routes are subject to change at any time. Routes are not guaranteed to be an all Gen Ed or an ESC route. We try to keep Gen Ed routes as such, but with the growing population and not having enough buses or staff to accommodate the growth, we must make exceptions. If a student on your route requires specific equipment, it is your responsibility to have it on the bus prior to leaving the compound. Don't assume the child will come with one. There are only a small number of students authorized to keep equipment at home. The parent must sign an equipment acknowledgement letter beforehand. Always keep a spare on your bus. Spare units cannot go home with the students. Vests do go with the students. If there is conflicting information on your route, for example, car seat and seatbelt, ask a manager or routing. Routing communicates equipment changes, not parents. Keep students in your sight. Get up occasionally to check on them, their seatbelts and straps, their belongings, etc. Talk to your students, get to know them. Don't play on your phone. Don't ignore students. Don't stare out the window or get sidetracked. Don't show favoritism. These are some important reminders. All electric wheelchairs require 2 sets of tie downs in the back and 1 set in the front. All wheelchairs must have a lap belt on the chair itself to load and unload. If a vest is connected to the wheelchair, it must be on the student during transport. Be sure it is all secure, lap belt and vest, before loading the student. No vests, car seats, or complicated students near an emergency window or exit. All electric wheelchairs must have the power off during loading, transport, and unloading. If unsure about the equipment, see your manager for specific student training. Do not pass a student by on the bus steps. The aide must be behind the student while loading and in front of the student when unloading. Do not release any ESE student without a visual of a parent or guardian. Keep the bus doors closed until you make the visual contact. Students that have aide monitor after or below their name cannot be released without an adult present, 18 years or older. They must come to the bus, not wave, open doors, windows, etc. A parent or guardian cannot okay the driver to release the student without an adult present. They will need to discuss with the school before this is approved. Here are some do's and don'ts for bus aides. Bus aides can equipment pre-trips, get on and off with students, use the radio for middays, clean the bus, and always wear your vest. Bus aides cannot get keys from dispatch, pre-trip the bus, start the engine of the bus, or use the phone while students are on board.
Student Management, presented by DeAndrea Miles. All South ESC drivers will need to remain on the trip channel for the first 2 days of school, Monday, August 12th and Tuesday, August 13th.
Remembering the 4 R's. Rules. Clear, defined expectations about behavior. Reason. Situations must be dealt with in a reasonable manner. Rapport. Build a positive relationship with the students. Respect. Treat students with respect so that they, in turn, will be more likely to treat you and the other students on the bus with respect. Each bus has the rules posted and students received a copy of the rules. It is our job to enforce the rules. Don't forget to use your CHAMPS techniques when managing student behavior. Set your expectations from the beginning and use bus bucks to reward positive behavior, and you'll have a smooth ride every time. Here's a few steps to follow before writing a referral. Did you speak with the school staff for assistance? You can ask any administrator on the bus ramp and they can board the bus to assist you with student behavior. Did you contact the parent or guardian? You can call the parent or even send a note home regarding their behavior. Parents should be partners in managing student behavior. Did you ask your area manager for help? Don't forget, managers are an extra resource for us to help manage the behavior on the bus. Here are the steps to addressing student behavior. When the incident occurs, address it right away. Using the proper intervention steps, if the incident continues after all intervention efforts, proceed with writing the referral. Be sure to submit the referral within 1 day of the incident. Your manager will review the referral. Then it gets sent to the school. The school decides on the discipline. The school should be advising us of the discipline outcome. Managers should communicate that with the drivers once we know the outcome. Do's and don'ts of writing referrals. Do. Be sure to write legibly. Fill out referral completely. Be detailed with the description. Only write the facts of the situation. Be sure to sign, print, and date your referral. Turn into an area manager within 1 day of the incident occurring. Don't include students' names if multiples are involved. 1 student per referral. Don't write your opinion of the situation. Don't tie up the radio about referrals. Please come in to see your area manager. Don't involve security for an incident that is a non-emergency. And don't refuse a student to ride. You do not have the authority to suspend a student from the bus. Let's review some common questions and answers. Can I return to a school if a student is not obeying bus rules?
Absolutely not. Once you depart from the school, you're not to return unless instructed by management or a member of security.
What should I do if the student won't sit down? They're constantly yelling and stomping their feet.
Try these techniques. First, you'll need to reinforce the rules. Advise the student you're going to have to pull over the bus and wait till they are seated in order to continue. Second, pull the bus over and reiterate the rule. Inform the student if they do not sit, you'll need to contact their parent and write a referral. Spend a few minutes trying to manage the student behavior. Then, you can try calling dispatch or a manager to have them give instructions over the radio. We've seen this work in the past. And finally, if you're unable to move the bus because the situation poses a safety hazard, you should call for security. Understand that security may not be able to respond and they may have to send 911.
If a physical fight occurs, am I allowed to intervene?
The reasonable force policy allows you to defend yourself and other students. There's more information on this online, or you can speak to a manager.
And lastly, are students allowed to have cell phones while riding on the bus?
Yes, in fact they are. Students can use their cell phone on the bus as long as it does not become a safety distraction. If it does become a safety distraction, ask them to put it away. But you cannot take away a student's phone.
Wait. I have more questions. Why doesn't security take the misbehaving students off the bus?
School security officers assist the driver with de-escalating the student's behavior. Security will not remove a student unless the student becomes a safety threat to others on board.
What type of issues does security respond to?
Security will respond to anything that poses a safety threat. Again, if it's a student misbehaving, proceed with writing a referral and continue on your route. Don't contact security if it does not pose a safety threat.
Well, what's the safety threat?
A safety threat is anything that interferes with the safe operation of your bus. If the interference does stop while you're waiting on security and the bus can proceed safely, please do so and just write the referral later.
Is cussing or verbal disrespect a safety threat?
No. Continue on with your route and write a referral later. Do the best you can to ignore that behavior if they don't stop, and again, proceed with your route and write the referral later.
Why isn't anything done when a referral is written?
Well, that definitely seems to be the common perception. If a referral is submitted more than one day after it happened, then we cannot send it off to the school, so discipline would not happen. Managers have access to Skyward to review the discipline outcomes, so if you want to know the result, ask your manager. Remember, all discipline is at the discretion of the school. Referrals are tracked in Skyward, and again, if you want to know the outcome, just ask your area manager. Employee Expectations, presented by Mr. Prince. All South ESC drivers will need to remain on the trip channel for the first 2 days of school, Monday, August 12th and Tuesday, August 13th.
Transportation standards. Respect each other. Be a team player. Friendly attitude. Not optional behaviors. We ask this of each team member and staff member each day of the week, 365 days a year. Showing general respect for each other is just a common practice so that we can all get along. It is exceptionally hard for students, parents, and faculty members to have a good work environment when we do not show general respect for each other. Being a team player. Being a team player asks each of us to go above, beyond, and outside of ourselves each day. Being a team member helps each and every one of us get through the workday without exception. A friendly attitude. Maintaining a friendly attitude sets the tone. Set the tone for your students. Set the tone for your coworkers. Set the tone for yourself. It does not cost anything to smile. Remember our team goal, to transport students to and from school safely. Our job is to protect students. Our job is to set the tone for their day. We start that with a friendly disposition when we greet them at the bus. But in between that, between school and home, it is our job to protect our students. We are to help create a safe work environment for them to learn throughout their school day, starting by setting the bus rules on your bus and maintaining those standards throughout the school year. Set the tone early. Make sure those expectations are met, and if you need support in creating that safe zone on your bus, we are here to support you. If attitude is everything, what does yours say about you? Hello all. Thank you again for attending the 24-25 in-service for transportation. It is with a pleasure that you guys have had the opportunity to come back and work with us again, and we're very thankful. Remember, as we move forward through the start of the school year, we're asking that we be attentive on road. We be very responsive to our students' needs. Pay attention on road, be responsive to our students' needs, and remember, teamwork matters. It does not cost anything to smile, and it does not cost anything to be a helping hand to our team members here. Again, if you need me, I'm always available, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you this school year. Have a great day.
All staff will be held accountable to meet all the expectations set forth by the transportation management team. Failure to meet these expectations may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this training or any other training, please speak with your immediate manager.